Today I got an interview with Tati. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how much of the interview I'll be able to film or if I'll be able to film at all, but I'm going in the building in like 5 minutes because that's what time she told me to come in.
Good afternoon, young lady. How may I help you?
Hi, I have an interview with Tati at 2 o'clock.
Okay. Come in.
To
Welcome to Live in the Deep Plus, everyone, on Local 4 Plus. We're so happy to be hanging out with you. So we're so excited to be back with you to, you know what we do, some good conversation, informative headlines, and always some fun. And today we're going to start off our show with a discussion with a local natural hairstylist turned author who has created something that I find to be very fascinating and simply groundbreaking for women who wear their hair naturally. And it's a dictionary on natural hair. Now, this does have the potential to transform how we embrace our curls and coils, especially for those of us who don't necessarily have the tools to know how to manage their natural hair, right? So joining us is Mo Williams, author of the Natural Hair Dictionary. Thank you for being with us. Absolutely. So now, you're a natural hairstylist, you own your own salon, and now you're an author. But let's start from the beginning. You know, for those who may be unfamiliar, what exactly is natural hair? What does it mean to wear your hair naturally?
By definition, natural hair is your hair the way it grows out of your scalp. So whatever your texture is, wearing it naturally, it could be an afro. Now, manicured natural hair is going to be natural hairstyles such as coils, twists, rod set, or straw sets. Something along that line is going to be encompassing a natural or natural texture for your hair.
So working with your natural texture.
Unaltered by heat.
And unaltered by heat, because that's key. So what got you interested in natural hair care? Is that kind of how you grew up, or?
It definitely wasn't the way I grew up. I grew up kind of typically like every other black woman with wearing relaxer, wearing person curl, and then in my early 20s, I got introduced to natural hair through just being a young adult with not a lot of money, so I couldn't get it done. So I just started kind of doing cornrows, and from there, I learned about boxing. I got some box started, and from there, it was being introduced to an acquaintance who allowed me to be an assistant in exchange for apprenticeship for learning and all of that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this was a journey, and that really flourished in your adulthood. Because one thing that people have to keep in mind, it is expensive to keep up your hair. No matter if you're wearing it naturally or you're like one of those people who gets color and this and that, it's not cheap, right?
It can be expensive depending on your personality and what your preferences are. But if you're a person who is more adept or keen on, like we have a lot of people do it yourselfers, people get on YouTube and things like that. If you are a fast learner, you can kind of offset costs that way.
Yeah, but I'll say
this.
Products can be expensive, and I'm sorry, every person on YouTube does not know what they're talking about. Because I have messed my hair up following people who are, I'm going to follow this tutorial. Just because you're giving a tutorial doesn't necessarily mean they know what they're doing, right? So then I'm assuming that might be part of the reason why you were inspired to write this book. Talk to me about what the impetus was for that.
Yeah, so the very beginning of me wanting to be a source of information for people was me starting my YouTube channel in 2017. And that was the year prior to me wanting to publish a book, but being in the beginning stages, going out on my own, starting a salon, a lot of my money being funneled into the business and keeping that going. So in the whole developmental process, all in the background, I always wanted to be a resource in some way, hair, so I can record that, those videos and so on. But definitely, as far as people who are on YouTube, I wanted to put my name in that in the sense to start my channel because there were so many people who it may have been being kind of I don't know, taking it the wrong way, but there was a point where a lot of YouTubers or content creators, they call them now, were getting a lot of sponsorships and things like that. And I felt or took it the wrong way and looked at myself as maybe lesser than or something like that because I didn't have the numbers, I was new or I wasn't popular or I didn't have a certain aesthetic, which that's a part of it too.
Absolutely.
So even now, my most popular video on YouTube is 1.5 million views. I have about almost 18,000 followers, but the book was my first sponsorship. I created my first brand, I did my first brand video. So, aside from me having my own personal goals, it's still from the essence or intent of any resource. A lot of people are just listening.
You get all kinds of crazy information that does not necessarily serve you. And the other point that you made, which is important when we're discussing YouTube and these other outlets where a lot of women are getting their information from, is these people are not stylists. Mm-hmm. They are being sponsored by products. So you're not necessarily getting the full story with something. But you touched on one thing. You can't talk about the importance of this book and the dictionary and the guide is exploring without talking about the politics of natural hair, right?
Yes.
So you and I have talked about this a little bit already, but what does it mean to wear your natural hair in its natural state in certain spaces? Is it still acceptable? Because we've discussed this also, like there are generations that feel differently about it.
Yes.
I definitely can say that I get treated differently when my hair is in different states.
Yes.
But let's talk about that a little bit because that's important too.
I think that natural hair comes with a lot of bias, whether it's from the public or from the wearers. You have, depending on your familial structure or how you were raised, a lot of people have inclination to have a negative outlook on certain textures, and that can go into texturism or you can go into colorism with that. And certain people like T.I.'s daughter, for example, she kind of spoke on, oh man, I'm this complexion, but I have to say, unfortunately, I have my dad's hair texture. And it's like, what does that even mean?
That was so absurd. I heard that, and I was like, what does that mean?
Exactly. So it just always circles back to mentality and people needing to inform themselves and also take accountability for the way that they think and coming to a realization that some things may need to be changed about how they think.
Absolutely. And also think about those family kind of influences too. It's like your hair is not done. What does that mean, right? Unpacking that.
Yes, like we were having our discussion. We talked about just how certain generations view your hair being done. It has to be straight. It has to be sleek and a specific look for it to be considered good looking or done or
acceptable. Yeah,
yes, exactly. And that also, aside from generationally, we talked about how that ties into professionalism and how certain constructs are there or created a beauty standard that really doesn't coincide with what a person would naturally be.
And that's a problem.
Yes.
And that's a problem to have that kind of disconnect. But what would you say is the key to accepting and embracing natural hair? Like, is part of the challenge that women are not educated, they just perceive it to be more difficult to take care of? Or how do we help people get here?
I think people can get there first by accepting themselves and what they come with, whether it's they may have done a big chop and they have short hair. And this is just a side note. Some people call shorter hair ugly things, and I don't even know who made that up, but it's definitely not a good idea to look at yourself in any capacity as ugly. Now, some of us in different ways may have ugly ways about ourselves that we can correct, but it's just, that's just a small aspect and that can be corrected. But you're not ugly or you don't have an ugly face because your hair is shorter or anything like that. It's just a part of the process. So it's just, it goes back to mentality for me. And also informing yourself. We have a lot of these talking points that we're discussing today in the book, as well as, historical references about natural hair. And aside from informing yourself with information, is your own education for your own hair is going to be developed through trial and error. Unfortunately, you know, we want to avoid a lot of the work, but it's really just it's a time thing that you will get better acquainted with yourself and your hair and how to do it with the more practice you put in.
Yeah, you do have to invest that time into it. It just is what it is. It's not something you can really work around. But that's where your guide comes in as well to help educate people on styles, on what they can do, how they can take care of their hair. How can people get a copy of your book?
The book is available at naturalhairdictionary.com. You can also find the link for its listing on Amazon through our website, or you can go on Amazon and just type in the Natural Hair Dictionary. If you're local in the Metro Detroit area, you can get us at 27th Letter, as well as Source Booksellers, Van Dyke Books, and More Herbs.
Okay, you know all those places. That's wonderful. And how can people follow you on social media?
You can find us at Natural Hair Dictionary on Instagram, as well as Such Natural Beauty is the salon's page. If you want to know more about the salon, the services I offer, it's a private studio. We're in the Grosse Pointe Park. You can go to suchnaturalbeauty.com and find our starting list of services, our starting prices, and list of services.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you putting this book together for all of us and educating everyone out there.
Yes, I'm looking forward to talking with you again soon.
Absolutely. All right. We will be right back with more Live in the D Plus after this.
Yes. Oh, great.
No, you did great. You did great.
You feel me sweating?
No, it was fine. I had
really
a great
was
conversation.
fun.
It was fun, and you were being yourself. It was great.
So we'll use
I have something for you.
Thank you.
A bag.